Long ago, in a land where the earth was red with stories and the wind carried the voices of ancestors, there existed a village hidden deep in the belly of the jungle. The people of Okuta, a village untouched by modernity, lived by the laws of gods and the spirits of the earth. Their lives moved to the rhythm of tradition, of fire dances, moonlit drumming, and rituals passed down by the blood of their fathers. Among the villagers was a girl named Adama. She was the daughter of Agwagwu, the village herbalist, whose potions were stronger than most men's beliefs. Adama was not only beautiful but born with a strange birthmark shaped like a crescent moon on her back, a sign, the elders whispered, that her destiny was not of this world. Adama's life was peaceful until the moon bled red for 7 nights, and the crops of Okuta withered as if cursed. The rivers dried, the goats stopped giving milk, and a sickness swept through the children like a ghost in the wind. The villagers panicked. And in their fear, they turned to the old ways. They turned to the forest. In the village of Okuta, silence had become a language. Once filled with the sounds of playful children, market chants, and goat hooves kicking up dust, the village now echoed only the dry rattle of wind across empty farmlands. The moon, once a guiding eye in the heavens, had turned a sickly red and refused to change for 7 nights. To the elders, this was no ordinary omen. The gods are angry, whispered Elder Bako, the oldest man in the village, whose skin was wrinkled like old bark and voice cracked like thunder. A sacrifice must be made. A blood offering. It was always like this in times of hardship. When rains failed or children died, the village sought answers not in logic but in tradition. In old stories passed from grandmother to granddaughter, they spoke of the forest, Oyayagbo, the forbidden one, where beasts walked like men and spirits wore animal skins. No one dared enter Oyayagbo unless they were desperate. And now, Okuta was desperate. Adama was 17 and curious. Her beauty was the kind that made men forget their tasks and women whisper prayers of protection. But Adama had a restlessness inside her, a flicker of rebellion that even her father, the feared herbalist Agwagwu, could not crush. "What do you see when you look at the sky, Papa?" she once asked him. "The eyes of the gods," Agwagwu answered. "I see secrets." Her father never liked her riddles. But even Adama, who was often skeptical of rituals and spirit tales, felt a shiver when the moon refused to change. Her dreams became strange. She saw fire. A forest. And a creature, half beast, half man, with golden eyes and long, hairy arms reaching for her. She would wake with sweat on her back, her crescent-shaped birthmark burning as if it were a wound. Her father noticed her unease. "You are being called," he said one morning, his fingers mixing herbs into a bitter-smelling paste. "By whom?" "The spirits. The forest. Maybe even, the Baboon King." The village elders gathered. The priest of Orunmila, their god of wisdom, threw cowries and read their signs. "A girl of blood must be given," he said. "One who bears the moon mark." Gasps filled the gathering. All eyes turned to Adama. She stood frozen in the center of the shrine, her legs trembling, her breath stuck in her throat. "She is the one," the priest continued. "She must go into the forest. Alone. And marry the Baboon King. Only then will the curse be broken." Agwagwu protested, roaring like a wounded lion. But his voice meant nothing now. The gods had spoken. Or so they believed. That night, Adama was bathed in oils and herbs. Her hair was braided with cowries. Her body was wrapped in red cloth, the color of sacrifice. She was handed a gourd filled with goat's blood and a black stone etched with ancestral symbols. As dawn approached, they led her to the edge of Oyayagbo. And pushed her in. The forest swallowed her. The moment her bare feet touched its sacred soil, the air changed. The sky darkened. The trees whispered in a language older than man. Adama walked. Her legs grew sore. Her throat burned. She called out, but only birds answered. Then, deep in the belly of the forest, she saw it, a clearing surrounded by tall red trees. At the center stood a massive creature, its body covered in golden-brown fur, its face both terrifying and beautiful. It was the Baboon King. He stood like a man, adorned in beads and feathers. His eyes glowed with fire. His voice boomed without speaking. "I have waited for you, moon-marked." Adama fell to her knees. She tried to speak, but words fled her. He circled her slowly. Then he sniffed her neck. "You are not afraid," he said. "I am," she whispered. "But you do not run. I was chosen. Then rise, bride of the forest." The wedding of beasts. The forest came alive that night. Creatures Adama had only seen in her grandmother's tales appeared, talking leopards, drumming hyenas, snakes that danced like women. They gathered under the blood moon to witness the unholy wedding. A crown of thorns was placed on her head. The Baboon King roared, and the earth shook. Vines wrapped around their wrists, binding them. "You are mine now," he said. Then, with a deep breath, he placed his hand on her birthmark. Fire rushed through her body. She screamed. And fainted. When she awoke, she was no longer in the forest. She was in a kingdom beneath it. Adama opened her eyes to a world that pulsed like a living heart. The trees were no longer mere wood and bark, they glowed from the inside like veins of fire. Beneath her lay soft moss that hummed with warmth. Giant mushrooms blinked, vines slithered like serpents, and shadows danced even in the absence of light. She had crossed into the underforest, a realm that existed beneath the known world. A place where animal spirits ruled, where the old gods still whispered, and where time followed no rules. The Baboon King stood over her, now wearing a cloak made of crow feathers and beads of bone. "This is your new home," he said. "As long as you are my bride, no harm will touch your village." Adama sat up slowly. Her hands trembled. "What are you?" "I am the guardian of forgotten pacts. The protector of ancient balance. I am beast and god. And now, your husband." She shivered at the word. He raised his hand and the ground parted. A throne of stone and bone rose from the earth. Around it, dozens of creatures emerged, baboons, wolves, leopards, antelope spirits with glowing eyes. They bowed. "Your reign begins, moon-marked," he said. Adama lived in a palace of thorns and gold. Her days passed in wonder and dread. She was pampered with fruits that sang and water that healed wounds. Her skin glowed like polished bronze, her hair flowed like silk. The forest loved her, but it was a love that chained. Each morning, the Baboon King would speak to the forest. And each evening, he would sit beside her and place his hand on her birthmark. Every touch made her weaker. A little more of her will disappeared. She tried asking questions. "Why me?" "Because you carry the moon." "What does that mean?" "It means you are the bridge between the old world and the new. You are the price." "Price for what?" "For breaking the ancient vow your people betrayed." The Baboon King told her that centuries ago, the ancestors of Okuta made a pact with the spirits of the forest. They were spared a great plague in exchange for a future daughter of blood. But when the time came, they denied the forest its bride. Now the debt had been claimed, with interest. One night, while the Baboon King slept, Adama followed a silver fox through a tunnel of vines. It led her to a forgotten chamber, a garden filled with statues of women. Each woman wore a crown of vines. Their faces were contorted in fear, sorrow, and rage. A spirit floated nearby. It was pale, faceless, and wept without tears. "You've come," the spirit whispered. "We were waiting." Adama backed away. "Who are you?" "I was the first bride. My name was Ifyananya." "And the others?" "They came after." Chosen like you. Loved like you. Cursed like you. Adama felt a tightness in her chest. What happened to you? We stayed too long. Every day in this forest steals a piece of you. Your memory, your will, your soul. Until you are no longer human. Adama stared at the statues. They are not stone, the spirit whispered. They are us. From that moment, Adama stopped eating the enchanted fruits. She poured out the healing waters. She ignored the whispers of the leaves. She began to think clearly again. Her mind sharpened, and her dreams returned. She remembered her father. The village. The sky. The sound of goats crying. The taste of yams. She began to plan. The Baboon King noticed her change. You are fading, he said. Do you not like your kingdom? I am only homesick. He tilted his head. You belong to the forest now. There is no going back. But Adama knew the truth. The pact bound her only if she stayed willingly. And she no longer did. She began to collect pieces of the forest, a feather, a thong, a drop of moonlight. The spirit of Ifyananya guided her, whispering secrets about the heart of the forest. To leave, the spirit said, you must find the root of memory and cut it. But where is it? In the heart of the Baboon King himself. On the night of the blood moon's return, the forest trembled. Adama stood in the throne chamber wearing a dress woven from thorn vines and black petals. In her hand, she hid a blade made from obsidian and enchanted horn, gifts from the spirits who wanted freedom from the beast. The Baboon King approached, his face fierce with affection and suspicion. Tonight, he said, you become immortal. The forest will never let you die. Adama forced a smile. Will I still be me? You will be, more. But she no longer wanted more. She wanted herself. As he reached for her birthmark, she plunged the blade into his chest. The forest shrieked. The earth split. The sky turned white. The Baboon King roared, not in pain, but in rage. You have broken the bond, he bellowed. You will bring ruin. Adama ran.